Hello, this is Tony Hiller from RealClimateScience.com. Albert Einstein said, "Two things are infinite, the universe and human stupidity," and I'm not so sure about the universe. Alaska used to be the global warming canary in the coal mine. But Alaska has turned cold and the canary has flown the coop. Anchorage just set a record for the amount of snow on the ground during the month of April, and there's nothing but very cold weather in the forecast. So the global warming canary has flown the coop and moved from Alaska to Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale just got 2 feet of rain in 24 hours, which may have broken the Florida record set in 1980. And USA Today says the rainfall was caused by the burning of fossil fuels. Temperatures at the surface in the Gulf of Mexico have been warmer than normal for months, and warmer air holds more water, 7.5% more moisture for every 1.8 degree Fahrenheit increase in temperature. The world's #1 climate fraudster, Michael Mann, went into more detail.
Answer is yes. We toss around these terms like 1,000-year event, and it makes it sound like, well, okay, it was just really bad luck. That's not what it means. When we say this was a 1,000-year event, it means we shouldn't have witnessed it if we lived for 1,000 years. Methuselah of biblical fame should not have witnessed an event of this sort. The only reason we're witnessing it is because it's no longer a 1,000-year event.
So according to Michael Mann, we should only see 2 feet of rain in one day about once every 1,000 years. Had Michael Mann done his homework, he would have known that we've seen this happen numerous times in the United States over the last century. On July 18, 1942, Smethport, Pennsylvania received 28.5 inches of rain in just 3 hours. In 1921, Thrall, Texas received 36 inches of rain in 18 hours, and in 1979, Alvin, Texas received 43 inches of rain in 24 hours. On May 31, 1935, Woodward Ranch, Texas set the world record rainfall of 22 inches of rain in just 2 hours and 45 minutes. And that world record was set just a few hours after the previous record was set in Colorado. 2 locations in Colorado received 24 inches of rain in 6 hours. This led to the worst flooding in Nebraska history, which killed hundreds of people. If USA Today writers were familiar with geography, they would realize that Colorado and Nebraska are nowhere near the Gulf of Mexico or any other large body of water. And according to Michael Mann's view of the world, the United States had 2,000-year events in just one day. And a few weeks later, on Labor Day 1935, came the most intense hurricane in U.S. history, with winds over 200 miles per hour. So let's take a look at what's wrong with Michael Mann's thinking about 1,000-year events. The odds of winning the Powerball grand prize are about 1 in 300 million. There's about 50 drawings a year, so according to Michael Mann's view of the world, we should only have a winner about once every 6 million years. But people win the Powerball jackpot all the time. According to ChatGPT, hundreds of people have won the Powerball jackpot. The odds are almost 300 million to 1 of any one ticket winning the Powerball jackpot, but lots and lots of people are buying tickets. And this is the logical fallacy which Michael Mann is making. The odds of Fort Lauderdale getting a rain that big are quite small, but the odds of it occurring somewhere in the United States are not small at all. We've seen that it's happened numerous times in the past in the United States, including at 3 locations in 2 states in one day in 1935. It's pretty clear that Michael Mann doesn't understand very simple statistics. And he used his very poor statistics to erase the medieval warm period and the Little Ice Age, which were well established in literature for 100 years. He replaced it with his completely fraudulent hockey stick graph, which has been made even worse by other incompetent and dishonest academics. At the same time as Michael Mann proposed his ridiculous hockey stick, Keith Briffa created a much more realistic temperature reconstruction. The hockey stick simply doesn't exist. It's a figment of Michael Mann's imagination and bad science. Or perhaps the problem is that Michael Mann believes that Methuselah lived in Fort Lauderdale.
Means we shouldn't have witnessed it if we lived for 1,000 years. Methuselah of biblical fame should not have witnessed an event of this sort.
What Michael Mann's telling the press is complete garbage. But the press loves Michael Mann because he tells the lies which they want to hear. Toto's been pulling back the curtain on this massive climate Ponzi scheme for 15 years. You can visit him, Kyrie Caesar, Toki Upala, and the 4 new puppies on the web at realclimatescience.com.